Testing, testing. 1, 2. We're about ready to get going here in Port Angeles. Lefties coming back from a 6-game road trip, which is uncommon here in the West Coast League. Only taking a couple of those this year. This week, they spent 3 games at Nanaimo, took the first 2, lost the third one in pretty dramatic fashion, 11-1. But the first game, they won 9-1. Second game, 5-0. In that first game, their 9 runs came mostly via the bat of Jack Edmonds, who just 1 hit. However, very productive. 1 for 4 a day. Did come with a strikeout. And pitching Garrett Holpuck in the first game, who's starting tonight. 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, just 1 run that was earned. 2 walks to 5 strikeouts, and then Cade Stewart came in to clean up the other 2 with 1 hit, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and no runs. So here we go. First pitch from Holpuck, bunted down the third baseline, and the throw to first from Valdivia is in time. Gets the first out on the first pitch here tonight. So that'll bring up, after the bunt from Zach Wider, Colin Robson, the center fielder for the Kelowna Falcons. Robson, last time he was here, didn't do much. Couple of hits, an RBI. And the pitch from Garrett Holpuck is on the outside corner at 89 miles an hour, called for strike 1 to the lefty. Holpuck gets back on the bump, ready to deliver the 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swinging up, pop up, fouled back into the netting above home plate, makes it 0-2. Holpuck's 0-2, swinging a line drive into center field. Going back on it is Tommy Markey. Makes the grab on the run for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down here in the first inning for Garrett Holpuck. And that'll bring up second baseman Owen Faust. Holpuck's first pitch, down low, first ball of his night. Puts it at a 1-0 count. Now, last time Owen Faust was here, first game, as he fouls one off. First game, he went 2 for 4 with a run scored. In the second game, he went 0 for 3 and eventually got pinch hit for. And in his third appearance, 0 for 4. So not a lot of productivity from his bat the first time around last week, but so far in a 2-1 count after the foul ball. Here's the pitch. Skied high in foul territory over the plate, and Garrett Patterson behind the plate makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So Kelowna goes 1-2-3 against Garrett Patterson. We will go to the bottom of the first inning. Lefties trying to maybe get some runs on the board early. Right back after the break at Civic Field, Danny Porras, Tommy Markey, and Taylor Kirk. So getting ready to start off the bottom of the first inning here for the Lefties. Danny Porras, the kid straight out of Gig Harbor High School, who had a pretty solid first game in the series finale versus Kelowna last week. And he will sky the first pitch back foul, and the count will go to 0-1. Danny Porras in the last game, 1 for 4, but his base hit to right field was 91 miles an hour off the bat. And then on the road trip, as he skies one into left field. Left fielder and shortstop battle for the ball. Left fielder eventually calls him off and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Danny Porras' box score from the road trip will have to stay until his next at bat. That'll bring up Fordham University center fielder Tommy Markey, who so far this season is putting on a show for the Lefties. He is 21 for 51, hitting .412 with 7 walks, 7 strikeouts, 8 RBI, 4 doubles, and came across the plate to score 11 times. He fouls back the first pitch, makes it 1-0. He's a guy who likes contact over anything else and usually puts it in play. The 1-1 pitch. Flied center field. Coming in on it is Colin Robson, but he will be called off by Zach Whiter. The shortstop makes it the second out of the inning. Tommy Markey with the fly ball to the shortstop in shallow left center. And that'll bring up Fordham shortstop Taylor Kirk, who, similar to Tommy Markey, he's also hitting above the 300 line. 327, 16 for 49. As that is low for ball 1. The 1-0 is ripped into left field for a base hit, and the Lefties are on the board in the hit column. Taylor Kirk with a base hit through the 5-6 hole gives the Lefties a runner on first base here with 2 out.
Now batting for your Lefties, number 25, John Dominguez.
So that'll bring up Lefties cleanup hitter DH for the evening, usually catches, but with Garrett Patterson behind the dish for the day, he is hitting in the designated hitter spot as the first pitch is down low in the dirt for ball 1. Taylor Kirk leading off first base. Dominguez awaiting the 1-0. Up high and outside for ball 2. Makes it 2-0 now. Asher Clark on the mound for Kelowna. And so far this season, he is racking up a total of 14 innings pitched, with 18 hits and 11 runs, 9 of them being earned, 6 walks to 5 strikeouts, and an 0-2 record. Comes out to a 5.78 ERA. And the last time he was here, the Lefties put up 7 runs on him in an inning and 2/3 with 6 hits and 1 walk, as the foul ball makes it 2-1. Taylor Kirk leading off first. And the pitch from Clark. Skied just behind the batter and catcher. And goes off the netting over home plate, makes it 2-2, evens up the count here with 2 out. Two out. Taylor Kirk leading off first base. And the pitch on the way, down low and in the dirt for ball 3. Loads up the count and advances Taylor Kirk over to second base on the wild pitch. Three-two now, 2 out. And Taylor Kirk officially into scoring position on second base. Lefties searching for their first run of the ball game. Checks on second and delivers to the plate. Ripped into right center field. And will be tracked down after a little bit of a slip from the right fielder, Uriah Walters. However, that will get the job done. Inning over, go to the top of the second, tied in a scoreless ball game. Top 2, we will see Braxton Thomas, Uriah Walters, and Jimmy Dione. 4, 5, 6 guys after a 3-up, 3-down inning for Garrett Holtbuck right after the break at Civic Field. Getting ready to kick off the top of the second inning here for Kelowna. Braxton Thomas, as he will line one foul over to the right side for strike 1 of the at-bat.
Now batting, number 10, Braxton Thomas.
Braxton Thomas was not a name that we saw in the first series. And so far on the year with Kelowna is 4 for 11, so a new addition to the team. Must have just gotten with them after the series here in Port Angeles. He's played 3 games, 4 for 11, 2 doubles, 2 RBI, 2 walks to 1 strikeout, and 2 RBI. That is grounded past Levi Joyce at second base, meaning Kelowna has recorded their first hit of the ball game. They get in the hit column here in the top of the second inning. Braxton Thomas reaches via the base hit. That'll bring up Uriah Walters, the right fielder on the evening for Kelowna. First pitch cranked out into center field, but Tommy Markey runs it down for the first out of the inning.
Now batting, number 37, Jimmy Dione.
That'll bring up designated hitter Jimmy Dione, and of course in Port Angeles here, we remember him as the man who went yard over the right field fence in the first game of the series. Ended up being one of the reasons why they came out on top in that game through 10 innings. Holpuck, his first delivery, called strike on the outside corner, 88 miles an hour. And that is one of the reasons that Garrett Holpuck really as of late being used more and more throughout this Lefties pitching staff. So far this season, 18 innings pitched, given up 23 hits, 14 runs, struck out 9, walked 6, and is 1-2. And that is swung on and missed for strike 2, makes it a 1-2 count. But after his performance in Game 1 of the Nanaimo series, they decided that they were going to start using him more. One of the hardest throwers in the Lefties rotation as he sets down Jimmy Dion. So that is the second out of the inning. And we'll bring up right-handed hitter Tyler Garitano. Swings and drives one into right field, and the catch will be made by Danny Porras. So we will go quickly after a base hit that is shut down on the base paths to the bottom of the second inning in a scoreless ball game. Set to see Levi Joyce, Jeremy Giesig, and Eric Valdivia for the Port Angeles Lefties right after the break.
For your Port Angeles Lefties, number 9, Levi Joyce.
Left-handed Levi Joyce ready to kick off the bottom of the second inning here for the Port Angeles Lefties. So far on his season, Levi Joyce is 18 for 61, hitting just below that 300 mark. 295 with 2 doubles, 15 RBI, and 15 walks. His on-base percentage, .438. Sitting at tied for 5th place on the team, as he will chop one over to the shortstop, Zach Whiter, for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Jeremy Giesig, the Port Angeles Lefties left fielder for the evening. So far on the season for him, he's had a little bit of a rough start. 12 for 72, 2 doubles. Came across the plate to score 8 times, And he watches the first pitch inside for ball 1. Makes it 1-0. Giesig, while only hitting 167 on the season, has 3 home runs. He's turned into one of those guys that gets a pretty big hit with 4 doubles and 3 homers in only 12 hits. As that's down low for ball 2. Jeremy Giesig awaiting the 2-1. Skied high out to center field. However, Colin Robson will be there to make the catch for the second out of the inning. Looked like it had a little bit of carry to it for a minute. And that'll bring up Eric Valdivia, the Port Angeles Lefties' third baseman on the evening. Lefties just waiting for that opportunity. I mean, last time they faced Asher Clark, they got to him quickly. Didn't even finish the second inning here before they put 7 runs up on him. Looking to do the same here tonight. That one down low and outside makes it 2-0 to the third baseman, Valdivia. Eric Valdivia on the season, 14 for 55, 3 doubles, 7 RBI, and 1 home run, which we saw here at Civic versus Nanaimo. That pitch is grounded over to the shortstop, Zach Wider, and he will flip it across the diamond in time, a little bit offline. But the tag gets Eric Valdivia for the third out of the inning. So we will go now to the top of the third inning, where Kelowna will continue trying to get to Garrett Patterson, or make that Garrett Holpuck, actually, the other side of the battery, right after the break. Leading off the top of the third inning here for the Kelowna Falcons, left fielder Devin Porch, hitting in the 8th spot of the Kelowna lineup. As the first pitch is up high for ball 1. The 1-0 fouled back off the mask of Garrett Patterson behind the plate. Makes it 1-1 here in the top of the third. That is down low for ball 2, makes it 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Garrett Holpuck to kick the fire. And a strike right down the heart of the plate at 88 miles an hour. Fastball makes it 2-2 with nobody out here in top of the third inning. The pitch to Porch, skied, center field. Markey ranging to his right, and it is over his head and off the wall. Gets down. Giesig makes the throw into Taylor Kirk, but a leadoff double for Devin Porch just over the head of Tommy Markey out in left field. Puts a runner on second with nobody out here for the Kelowna Falcons. That will bring up Max Shore, the catcher for the night.
Number 23, Max Shore.
First pitch to the Kelowna backstop, lined up the middle. Levi Joyce can't get to it, and the stop sign being held up for Devin Porch at third base, but that puts runners on the corners here against Garrett Hopuk here with nobody out. That'll bring up the top of the order, Zach Wider, the shortstop. That pitch is skied into right center field. Markey ranging in on it, makes the catch, but the runner on the move, he will score easily, making it a 1-0 ball game in the favor of the Kelowna Falcons after the sacrifice fly from Zach Wider. So Kelowna leads 1-0.
Now batting, number 50, Colin Robson.
Max Shore standing on first base still, and Colin Robson coming to the plate here for the Kelowna Falcons. The bunt attempt, no good, and the throw down bobbled away. Shore thinking about third base, turns around. So that'll move him over to second here in a 1-0 count. Last time he was here, Colin Robson in his first game went 1 for 4. In the second game, did not play, and in the third game also did not play. Make that actually an 0 for 5 day from him in the third game of the series, as he will ground that one over to Levi Joyce, who tosses it quickly over to first base, but advances Max Shore over to third base here for Owen Faust, the second baseman for Kelowna. Owen Faust trying to add on to the early lead here for the Kelowna Falcons. Runner on third, 2 outs. The pitch swung on and missed for strike one. 83 miles an hour just off the outer edge. Breaking ball got the swing from Faust. Hopuk sets, kicks, steals, lined hard down the right field line, yet foul. Makes the count 0-2. 0-2, 2 outs. The pitch from Hopuk nearly hit him in the head. And they're saying it hit him on the arm. So that'll put runners on the corners again against Hopuk here in the third. Trying to get out of the jam quickly here. Tanner Knapp staying in the lefties dugout. Not quite ready to go check on his man yet. And that'll bring up Braxton Thomas, the first baseman. Kelowna up 1-0 here, trying to do a little more damage here before they have to pitch the bottom of the third. The pitch to Garrett Patterson behind the dish is fumbled on the transfer. Puts the runner on second after the steal from Owen Faust. And the left-handed first baseman, Braxton Thomas, is going to try to do some more damage. Second and third, 2 outs. The pitch from Holpuck. Up high, ball 2, 90 miles an hour on the radar gun, yet not a strike nonetheless. 2-0, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the top of the third inning, Garrett Holpuck looking to get out of the jam here, stop the bleeding. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 at the high fastball, 90 miles an hour. Makes the count 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And the pitch on the way from Holpuck. Called, strike 2, right down the middle at 90 miles an hour. Evens up the count, 2-2, 2 outs and 2 on. Holpuck 1 strike away from getting out of the jam. He gets on the bump. Waits for his sign. Nods his head. Comes set. And fires the 2-2 up high for ball 3. Evens up the count at full. 3-2, 2 out, 2 on. Lefties trying to stop the bleeding. Holpuck sets. And the payoff. Swinging a line drive over the head of shortstop Taylor Kirk. Tommy Markey fields it in center field, but a 2-run single from Braxton Thomas does all the damage that it needed to. 3-0 Kelowna leads after the clutch 2-out hit there from Braxton Thomas. And there comes Tanner Knapp out of the lefties dugout. Going to come check on Garrett Holpuck after he gives up 3 runs here in the third. So Uriah Walters now, the right fielder for Kelowna. And in the last series, he would typically play shortstop, but that's where Zach Wider's at today, so they push him out to right field. Garrett Holpuck's first pitch after the little conversation between him and pitching coach Tanner Knapp is swung on and missed for strike 1. If I had to guess, conversation, probably something like, your bases are empty, you got 2 outs, fresh start. Don't get too fancy, get the out here. 1-1 now with a runner on first base and 2 out. And that's grounded over to third. Valdivia, quick feed over to first base in time. Charging the ground ball down the third baseline and quickly giving it up to first base. Gets the 3rd out of the inning. So Holpuck finally gets out of the jam. But not after giving up 3, not before giving up 3 runs. So Kelowna leads 3-0 here as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. ready to start off the bottom of the third inning here for the Lefties. Working from behind is first baseman Jack Edmonds. So far on the season, he had a little injured stint, but Jack Edmonds, make that 9 for 50 as he skies one into left field. Catch will be made by David Porch and records the first out of the inning. So a quick first out there from Jack Edmonds. That'll bring up Garrett Patterson, who serves as both a pitcher and a catcher here for the Lefties. Today he's behind the dish as opposed to throwing to it. First pitch from Asher Clark is outside for ball 1. Garrett Patterson awaiting the 1-0 from Asher Clark. And it is down low and just outside for ball 2. 2-0 now. In the bottom of the third. And the pitch is grounded foul. For strike 1. Danny Porras waiting in the on-deck circle for the 9-hitter Garrett Patterson. He hopes to get on base. And the 2-1 is off the front elbow of Garrett Patterson. Hits him and puts a runner on first base here for the Lefties. And Danny Porras, the left-handed right fielder straight out of high school, which you do not see very often here in the West Coast League. Hit just above the 300 mark at Gig Harbor with 3 home runs in a high school season. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. Maybe tried to tack on number 4 on the career there. Patterson leading off first after the hit by pitch. Danny Porras at the plate, awaiting the 0-1, down low, but speared by Max Shore behind the plate. Keeps it right where it is, now in a 1-1 count with 1 out. Porras so far on the season for the Lefties on the pickoff attempt is 6 for 15, hitting a clean 400 in 3 games played, with 1 RBI. And that is called a strike on the outer half, makes it 1-2. Porras awaiting the 1-2 from Asher Clark. Kicks and fires after checking on the runner at first base, and it is fouled away. Keeps the count right where it is at 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Sets down Asher Clark, or sets down the second strikeout of the game for Asher Clark, I should say, as Danny Porras goes back to the dugout after watching strike 3, and that'll bring up Tommy Markey. Markey watches the first pitch on the outer half, just off the outer half, for ball 1. 1-0, 2 outs and a runner on first. Lefties trying to get back at least one run. As Markey flies one towards the left side and out of play for strike one. Evens up the count. Grounded right side. Off the glove of a diving Owen Faust, and the throw to third base is not in time, and past him. He's going to try for the plate. No. Tanner Knapp tells him to get back to third. That'll put runners on second and third here with 2 outs after a little tomfoolery on the base pass after the error from Owen Faust at second base. That was ruled a base hit. So that will bring up Taylor Kirk, who last time up got in the hit column for the Lefties with a base hit through the 5-6 hole. And one of those here would most likely put this game within 1 run here in the 3rd inning. It's definitely on the mind of Taylor Kirk. After the time called, we will see the first pitch on the way from Asher Clark. It is called strike 1 on the inner half. A little bit of a delayed strike call, but the message says the same. Makes it 0-1. Down low in the dirt. Here comes Garrett Patterson. The throw, not in time, and the Lefties get one back on the wild pitch. And Tommy Markey advances to third base, staring at his Fordham teammate at the plate. One ball, 1 strike after the wild pitch. Lefties get 1 run back at least here. Taylor Kirk trying to make that more. Pitch grounded left side, foul ball. Makes it 1-2 here with 2 out. Lefties trying to get within 1 run here. One and two out. The pitch from Clark. Down low, ball 2. Makes it 2-2 here with 2 out. Foul ball from Taylor Kirk keeps the count right where it is. 2-2 with a runner on third base. Kirk awaiting the 2-2. Grounded foul down the first baseline, and we will do it again. This is pitch number 7 of this lengthy at-bat. On the way here. Asher Clark taking his time to get back on the mound. Wiping the sweat off his forehead with his sleeves. Staring into his glove. And finally toes the rubber. 2-2 down low, outside, makes it 3-2. So a full count now here with 2 outs. And Taylor Kirk at the plate. Lefties 90 feet away from bringing this to a 1-run game. Asher Clark trying to keep that runner right where he is. The pitch. Fouled away, and pitch number 9 now in the at-bat. Eight pitches so far, number 9 on the way in the lengthy at-bat. And the first time the payoff, skied, left field, and foul, and we go into the double digits for this at-bat. Pitch number 10 now on the way. Quite a few foul balls from Taylor Kirk. Markey on third. And the payoff pitch once more. Ball 4 down low, and it's productive. 10-pitch walk for Taylor Kirk. That'll bring up Dom Dominguez, the designated hitter, who so far this season
Now batting, number 25, Dom Dominguez.
14 for 55, hitting .255, and has not notched a homer yet. Tying run, standing on first base. Fouled back the first pitch. Makes it 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 men out, and runners on the corners here to Dom Dominguez. Lefties down 3-1 here in the bottom of the third. Oh and 1. 2 outs, the pitch. Runner on the move, no throw, and that is called strike 2. Up on the outer half. 0-2. But after the walk, Taylor Kirk advances to second base. As the tying run, the pitch grounded right side. And off the glove of first baseman Braxton Thomas scores a run. So the error on the first baseman brings in the second run of the Lefties for the inning and on the night. And that'll bring up left-handed Levi Joyce with the tying run 90 feet away. Out comes Kelowna staff to check on Asher Clark out there. Doesn't look like a pitcher's coming out of the bullpen, so this will be just a little mound visit here. Tell him to get that final out of the inning here. Same thing probably that they did with Garrett Holtbuck. Don't get too fancy. Stay in the zone. Work a ground ball. Let your infield do the rest. But as a pitcher, I could understand not wanting to trust your infield necessarily after an error on the first baseman and the second baseman having a ball go off of his glove, allowing 2 runners to get in scoring position. And wanting to work the strikeout, but that has got him into a couple of dangerous situations here. And the Lefties now have the tying run 90 feet away. Pitch from Clark. Bunt attempt pulled back in time for ball 1. Makes the count 1-0. Here with 2 on and 2 out. In a 3-2 ball game. Lefties trying to tie the baseball game. Levi Joyce would be the man to do it here with 2 outs. And he foul tips one back into the catcher's glove and out of it. And a Lefties player sprinting all the way out of their dugout across home plate and back to get the foul ball. Kiesig on deck. Levi Joyce at the plate, taking a couple swipes with his feet at the dirt in the batter's box, trying to get set a little more. 1-1 count. Asher Clark kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1-2 count. And Asher Clark once again 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. However, the last couple times that's been the truth. There's been ground balls off of infielders' gloves and safe batters. He gets a warning from the umpire. And comes set in the 1-2 count. Runner on the move. Step off. But Dom Dominguez gets to second base safely on a defensive indifference. Puts runners on second and third here in a 1-2 count with 2 out. Dom Dominguez at second base could score on a base hit up the middle. He's got that sneaky speed from the big man. We've seen it before. And he grounds one to the right side. This time the play is made at first base by Braxton Thomas. So that'll bring us to the top of the 4th. Lefties get 2 runs back, bring themselves within 1 of the Kelowna Falcons. And we will go to the top of the 4th now and see Garrett Holpuck once again after giving up 3 runs last time out. He looks to maybe get back on a strong note in his start after lefties give him a little bit of run support. We'll be right back at Civic Field. Jimmy Dion stepping in for the Kelowna Falcons here in the top of the 4th inning. Looking to start off their half of the inning on a strong note. And the first pitch outside for ball 1 from Garrett Holpuck. That pitch grounded fair down the right field line. And Jack Edmonds makes a stop at first base for the first out of the inning. So after the quick ground out, we will go to Tyler Garitano, the third baseman, new pickup for the Falcons. He's 0 for 1 on the day. And that pitch in there for strike 1 on the outer half. 0-1 count, 1 out. And the pitch from Holpuck swung on and missed for strike 2. Slider breaks past the bat of Tyler Garitano. 0-2 with 1 out. Pitch in the dirt. Tries the same thing. That one doesn't find the zone. 1-2 count now with 2 out. One and two, 1 out. That is just down low. Maybe would have gotten the call. However, Garrett Patterson unable to frame it behind the dish. Squirts past his glove just a little bit. And makes the count 2-2 with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fouled just barely back. below the glove of Garrett Patterson and makes it 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Tyler Garitano via the strikeout here. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Garrett Holpuck strikes out his second batter of the day. And that'll bring up Devin Porch with 2 outs and the base is empty. Pitch from Holpuck. Just off the plate outside. Trackman shows it on the black. Just didn't get the call. 1-0, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit high, but not deep, out to right field. And Danny Porras will get there and make the catch for the third out of the inning. Lefties and Falcons 3-2. And we will go to the bottom of the fourth in a 1-run ball game. So this is going to be Jeremy Giesig leading off the top of the fourth inning for the Port Angeles Lefties. They are down 1 after a quick top half of the fourth. Giesig awaiting the first pitch from Asher Clark. And it'll be called a ball just off the plate towards the outside. 1-0 count here to start the bottom of the fourth. That is lined hard into left field for a base hit, 90 miles an hour off the bat of Jeremy Giesig, and the Lefties on the board in the hit column here in the fourth. So that'll bring up Eric Valdivia, the third baseman on the night, who made a pretty good play. A slow rolling ground ball down the third baseline. He charged it, picked it up, and quickly feeded it over to first for the second out of that inning. Giesig on first. Valdivia pulls back a bunt, but it is called a strike anyway, just below the middle black line of the zone. Valdivia awaiting the 0-1 from Asher Clark. Instead, it's a pickoff over to first base. Jeremy Giesig back in safely. keeping him honest over there at first, trying to avoid the potential stolen base. Valdivia fouls one back. Just missed his own foot and makes the count 0-2. Valdivia awaiting the 0-2. Line over the second baseman's head and into the right center gap. Cut off quickly by center fielder Colin Robson, but runners on first and second base here for the Lefties, and a rally coming here in the bottom of the fourth inning. First pitch, slider taken in the middle of the zone. Edmonds didn't like what he saw after playing first base for 4 innings tonight. And the 0-1 down low, runners stay put after the ball in the dirt blocked quickly by Max Shore. Edmonds so far tonight, 0 for 1. Flew out to left field his first time up. And that pitch down low and outside for ball 2 makes it 2-1 now. Here with nobody out. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Lefties got runners on first and second here. Really trying to get something going and at least tie the ball game here after a quick fire starter. 2-1, down low in the dirt. This time, Giesig on his way to third, and he can't pick up the ball in the dirt. His hand slips off of it, so no throw down to third. Giesig in safely, and Valdivia will stay at first. So first and third, runners on the corners, and a 3-1 count here to Jack Edmonds. Tying run 90 feet away here in the fourth. And the green light pitch is skied high and deep out to center field. It's gone! Jack Edmonds goes yard over the left center field fence on a 3-1 count. 3-run homer and puts the Lefties up 5-3. So a 3-run homer for Jack Edmonds puts the Lefties up 5-3, clears the bases here with nobody out, and a fresh start. As now steps in Garrett Patterson. Lefties lead 5-3. And the first pitch to Patterson is grounded off his own foot, so a dead ball. And strike one. No balls, 1 strike to Garrett Patterson. And that pitch outside for ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Jack Edmonds' home run, 400 feet over that Sound Community Bank sign out in center field. Give it a ride, 96 miles an hour off the bat, and a drop third strike. Tagged. Garrett Patterson goes down via swinging strikeout for the first out of the inning. Looks like some bullpen action here, possibly. And that'll be the day for Asher Clark. He's done. Coming in for Kelowna, looking like Troy Shepard. Troy Shepard, left-handed, 6'2", junior from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, going to Washington State University, a Cougar. And we will be back after the break with Troy Shepard's collegiate stats for the year 2025 in the spring. Until then, enjoy the warm-up for Troy Shepard on the mound. So after the pitching change removes Asher Clark from the game, that'll bring in Troy Shepard here to face the left-handed Danny Porras straight out of high school. As he fouls, lines that pitch down the left field line for a base hit. It's fair. Porras on his horse, rounding first, going to second, and is in there standing with a one-out double. Danny Porras rockets one down the left field line and gets into second easily. To bring up Tommy Markey, the two-hitter, in the lineup. Markey with a runner on second. Porras being checked on by Troy Shepard, and that is up high for ball one. Troy Shepard in college, well, even back before that, going into his freshman year before college, he also pitched with the Kelowna Falcons. In 42 1/3 innings pitched, as that is down low for ball two. 42 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up 36 hits, 15 runs, 14 of them were earned. Walked 17, struck out 28 with a 1.25 walks hits per innings pitched and a 2.98 ERA. This kid had a pretty good run with Kelowna. Took a couple years off from West Coast League Baseball. Came back to college baseball. Washington State this spring. 9 2/3 innings pitched. As that's down low in the dirt for ball 3. And in those 9 2/3 innings pitched, he gave up 11 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 9 strikeouts to 8 walks. And now in Kelowna, he's pitched 4 innings, given up 2 hits, and no runs. Lined in a center field. And easily playable for Colin Robson. Danny Porras stays right where he is. And after the flyout from Tommy Markey gets the second out of the inning, we now go to his Fordham University teammate, Taylor Kirk, who so far on the evening is a nice 1-for-1 with a walk. And improved his average to .340. First pitch to Taylor Kirk. Down low and inside for ball 1. That's down low for ball 2. Troy Shepard last time versus Port Angeles, as that was called strike 1 on the inner half. First game of the series. Pitched 2 2/3 innings, only gave up 1 hit and struck out 4. He pretty much diced to the lefties last time up. And now looking to do the same again with a runner on second and 2 outs. Looking to stop the bleeding and give Kelowna a chance to maybe get 1 or 2 back and tie the game. The lefties 2-2. Grounded back up the middle. Fielded by Zach Whiter and thrown over to first base. Not in time, and the runner coming to the plate. Danny Porras rounding third base on the simple ground ball. The throw not in time. Porras was on his horse on his way to the plate. And the 4th run of the inning for the lefties. Porras makes it 6-3. That'll bring up that'll bring up Dom Dominguez after Taylor Kirk reached on the infield single as he waves and misses at strike 1. 0-1, 2 outs. The lefty 0-1. Called just high for ball 1, just up off that black. Makes it 1-1, evens up the count. 1-1 with 2 outs. And the pickoff to first base, not in time. Taylor Kirk back in there diving. Keeps everything right where it is. 6-3 ball game. 1-1, 2 outs. Lefties offensively were pretty dead until the 3rd inning and then came alive, put up 2 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th. Two and one, 2 outs. The pitch. Grounded, right side, fair ball. Dom Dominguez rounding first on his horse on his way to second. Taylor Kirk rounding third, gets the sign on his way to the plate. No throw in there diving. And an RBI double with 2 outs for Dom Dominguez. The Lefties lead 7-3. The 5th run of the inning for Port Angeles. Troy Shepard unable to stop the bleeding yet. And that'll bring up a fresh count for the new hitter, Levi Joyce. Fresh count to Levi Joyce. Another lefty-lefty. This time the first pitch is called a strike on the outer half. Oh and 1, 2 outs. And the pitch to Levi Joyce fouled back towards the left side and stuck in that net down the left side. Oh and 2, 2 outs after the foul ball from Levi Joyce. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Levi Joyce. However, the damage has been done. 5 runs for the Lefties in that inning. Put them up 7-3. A great showing of Lefties offense. And it is 7-3. We will go to the top of the 5th. Leading off the top of the 5th inning here for Kelowna, 9-hitter and catcher Max Shore. The first pitch to him in there for a strike 1. So an 0-1 count to catcher Max Shore from Garrett Holpuck, who's going into his 5th inning of work on the night. Lined softly over to shortstop, or make that second base where Levi Joyce makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Lefties off to a strong start. A 2-pitch out to lead off the top of the 5th inning, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter for Kelowna, Zach Wider. Fresh count to a fresh top of the order for Zach Wider. And the first pitch to him down low for ball 1 with 1 out. That's skied into shallow right field. Danny Porras coming in, calling off Tommy Markey for the second out of the inning. 4 pitches, 2 outs. for the Lefties here in the top of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Colin Robson, the center fielder, for Kelowna. Trying to avoid going 1-2-3 here in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Just off the outer half. Splitter can't find the zone. Just outside. 1-0 is called a strike on the inner half. Makes it 1-1 with 2 outs. One ball, 1 strike. The pitch, swing and a miss. 1-2. Garrett Holpuck trying to finish his outing on a strikeout here. 1-2, 2 out. On the way from Holpuck. Lined hard in right field. And Danny Porras makes his 2nd catch of the inning. So that will end the top of the 5th for the Kelowna Falcons. And we will go now to the bottom of the 5th, where we will see the Lefties try to maybe expend that lead that they have going right now. They're ahead by 4. And we'll be right back after the break to see the bottom of the 5th. Getting ready now to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Lefties, Jeremy Giesig, the left fielder for the Lefties on the evening. Giesig so far on the night, 1 for 2, and came across the plate on that Jack Edmonds bomb over the left center fence as he fouls away the first pitch, makes it 0-1. Lefties ahead 7-3, trying to maybe roll the windows down and coast the rest of the way through this ball game. Still looking to add a little bit of insurance here as Giesig takes the 0-1 down low for ball 2. That is grounded towards the left side. And the throw over to first base in time to get Jeremy Giesig for the first out of the inning.
Now batting, number 33, Eric Valdivia.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up Eric Valdivia for the Lefties, who reached last time on a ground ball over to first base as an error. and set up Jack Edmonds' 3-run homer. First pitch from Troy Shepard on the way. In there for strike one. Makes it 0-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Troy Shepard, the left-hander, kicks and fires, and it's grounded over to the left side and caught by the shortstop. Well, not caught, but fielded as he tries a Derek Jeter-esque jump throw and is late by about 5 steps. So on the infield single, Eric Valdivia reaches, and that'll bring up the man, the myth, and the legend, Jack Edmonds. Hit a towering home run out to left center. Last time he was up to put the Lefties up 5-3, and they only added on a couple runs from there. First pitch taken for strike one. Letting the pitcher know he didn't want that. Down low and outside. He just stood straight up, didn't even flinch, as that's outside for ball one. 1-1, 1 out, and 1 on. Eric Valdivia leading off of first base. Here's the pitch. Fouled back towards the fence behind home plate and makes it 1-2. One and two, 1 out. The pitch, swing and a miss. Down goes Jack Edmonds via the strikeout in the 2nd out of the inning. So that will bring up Garrett Patterson, the backstop on the night, as with 2 outs he was ready to, 1 out and a runner on first base. Awaiting the double play ball, he was waiting in the on-deck circle with his shin guards on just in case he did not make it back out there for his at-bat. But he does, sheds the shin guards and comes out for his 2nd at-bat of the day. No, make that, his 2nd at-bat and his 3rd plate appearance, as he was hit by a pitch earlier in this one. And that's ball 1, high and outside. The 1-0 with 2 outs. Troy Shepard kicks and fires, and swing and a miss. Evens up the count at 1-1. One and one with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fouled off towards the right side. It makes it 1-2. One and two, 2 outs. Eric Valdivia leading off of first base. And Garrett Patterson at the plate. 0 for 1. But came across to score after his hit by pitch earlier in this one. But he does wave and miss at strike 3. So down goes Garrett Patterson. And up comes the top of the 6th inning. Lefties lead 7-3 after our first scoreless frame since the 2nd inning. And leading off the top of the 6th inning here is a bunt attempt not pulled back, and we will see a pinch hitter here. As that's a ball. Kyle Slater coming in to pinch hit for Owen Faust. Swing and a miss. Kyle Slater down in the count, 1-2 now. He will, I imagine, come in the defensive half of the inning and play second base. Here's the 1-2, waved at and missed, a drop third strike, and the throw down to first well in time to get Owen Faust. And that counts in the books as a strikeout here for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up cleanup hitter Braxton Thomas with nobody on and 1 out. Lefties lead 7-3. And Garrett Holpuck in his 6th inning of work now allowed a 3-run 3rd inning and been lights out other than that. Up high. Whatever Tanner Knapp came out and said to him after he gave up those 3 runs in the top of the 3rd inning certainly must have worked, because he has been just shut down ever since then. Looked like a completely different player than the man he was in the 3rd inning. So that's fouled back, makes the count 1-1. The 1-1. Called a ball just up high. Trackman agrees, makes it 2-1. Left-handed Braxton Thomas looking to maybe start a rally here for Kelowna, because ever since that 3rd inning, they've been silent. Garrett Holpuck says, here's 88, hit it if you can. 2-2, grounded. Over to Valdivia at 3rd base, charges it, and makes a great throw across the diamond. Another excellent defensive play from Eric Valdivia over at 3rd base, gets the 2nd out of the inning, and that will bring up Uriah Walters. He's playing right field on the night. First pitch is grounded, foul off towards the right side. Oh and 1 count, 2 outs, and a swing and a miss from Uriah Walters makes it 0-2 now. Oh, and 2 outs. Holpuck still shoving. Ground ball ripped down the left field line, but foul. Swing and a miss. Down goes Uriah Walters, the way of the strikeout. And that will end the top of the 6th inning here for the Kelowna Falcons. We will go now to the bottom half. Lefties still leads 7-3. Trying to coast the rest of the way through to the first win of the series. Danny Porras getting ready to kick off
Number 34, Danny Mora.
the bottom of the 6th inning for the Port Angeles Lefties here. Trying to maybe get another rally started. For this ball club. Has the first pitch in there for strike one. 0-1 now. Oh, and 1, nobody out. In a 7-3 ball game, Troy Shepard just doing garbage time work now. As that slider breaks into the zone for strike 2. 0-2, nobody out to the leadoff hitter. And Porras will watch that pitch below the zone. Fastball at 86. 4-1. 1-2, nobody out. And here's the pitch. Swung on and line down the left field line. Fair ball. Danny Porras does it again on his horse. And his second stand-up double of the evening. Danny Porras having a great night here for the Lefties and a great start to his career in the West Coast League. He is just on fire. That'll bring up Tommy Markey with a runner on first base and nobody out. Here's the pitch. Grounded, right side. And Kyle Slater makes the throw to first base in time, but that does his job very well. Advances Danny Porras over to third base here with 1 out. Lefties, another runner in scoring position, a very familiar sight for them in the last few innings. And in steps Taylor Kirk. With a runner on third base and 1 out. First pitch on the way. Ball off the outer edge for a 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes, runner on first base, and 1 man out. Make that runner on third base, actually. And the 1-0 is called a strike on the outer edge. It's a little difficult to tell with some umpires because they stand up before they give their strike call instead of as they're doing it. So it's a little hard to tell whether he's going to call it a strike or a ball, especially when it's on the black like that. But he does make it clear with his voice that that was strike 1. 2-1, 1 out. Danny Porras on third base. Taylor Kirk at the bait. Two and one out. Slider called strike 2. Down the middle. Taylor Kirk didn't want it. Kirk fouls back. The 2-2 keeps the count right where it is. Kirk stepping back in, digging in. 2-2 count. 1 out the pitch. Fouled back off towards the fence behind the Lefties dugout. Two. 1 out. Runner on third base. Here's the pitch. Inside to Taylor Kirk. Loads up the count. It's full. 3-2. 1 out. Runner on third. At Danny Porras, who is maybe trying to show off his biceps over there at third base, rolling his sleeves up, tucking them in, looking almost like a tank top instead of a jersey out there. As Kirk skies this one, deep center field. Making the catch is Colin Robson, but Danny Porras will score via the sac fly, and the Lefties take an 8-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. That'll bring up Lefties designated hitter Dom Dominguez. First pitch to Dom. Taken up high for ball 1. 89 miles an hour from Troy Shepard on the bump. But just up high makes it ball 1. 1-0, 2 outs, the pitch. Line to right field. And, oh my goodness, what a catch out there in right field from Uriah Walters. A little bit of a misread. Disobeys the golden rule of playing the outfield. First step is always back. He took 2 steps in, realized, wait a minute, that ball is going over my head. Turned around and made a leaping catch out there for the 3rd out. So we will go to the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll make it the top of the 7th inning. We just finished the bottom of the 6th inning. Garrett Holpuck coming back out there. If he finishes this inning, that'll be 2 straight 7-inning starts for Garrett Holpuck. And in the West Coast League, especially with this Lefties team where they try to rotate around pitchers very often, that would be very impressive for him. We'll be right back after the break to see Garrett Holpuck try to go out there for one more after the break. In steps Jimmy Dion, ready to lead off the top of the 7th inning for the Kelowna Falcons. Left-handed designated hitter. Takes the first pitch down low for ball 1. Makes it 1-0. That pitch called a strike on the outer half. 1-1. Fouled back, makes it 1-2. One, two, down low, makes it 2-2. Evens up the count. Waves and misses, and down goes Jimmy Dion via the strikeout. That is Garrett Holpuck's fifth strikeout on the night
Now batting, number 17.
and brings up
Garofano.
Tyler Garitano. The 1-0 from Holpuck, swung on and missed. Strike one, 88-mile-an-hour fastball above the zone, evens up the count. One and one, one out, the pitch. Up high, ball two. Two and one out. Here's the pitch. Skied. Right center. Battle for the baseball. Won by Colin Robson. And the second out of the inning. Fly ball out. Excuse me. To Tommy Markey. Is not the Kelowna center fielder. First pitch from Patterson. That is Patterson behind the plate. Excuse me. And the 0-1 called, strike two on the outer half. Garrett Patterson 1 pitch away from completing his 7th inning of work. Very impressive showing from him tonight. 3 runs given up in the third. That's about it. Swing and a miss. Down goes Devin Porch. And Garrett Holpuck goes 7 innings with a strikeout.
All right, fans, it's time.
And as Civic Field goes to stretch in between the top and the bottom half of the 7th inning, we will go back in the bottom half of the 7th to Troy Shepard out there on the mound for the Kelowna Falcons. We'll be right back. Technically, that's not a safe situation. I mean, we're up 5. Safe situation is 3. Alrighty, let's go. Getting ready to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning here for the Lefties. Levi Joyce, the left-handed second baseman. Lefties trying to cruise to an 8-3 win if things continue the way they're going right now. Levi Joyce takes the first pitch on the outer half for strike one. 0-1, 1 out. Nobody out to the leadoff hitter. And the slider finds the zone for strike two. Makes it 0-2 now. 0-2, nobody out. Kicks and fires. Joyce grounds a slider over to third, tries to beat out the throw, cannot. The laser across the infield from Tyler Garitano beats Levi Joyce for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Jeremy Giesig, the Lefties left fielder, who so far, Jeremy Giesig on the night is 1 for 3 and came across the plate to score on Jack Edmonds' 3-run homer. Base is empty, 1 out. Giesig at the plate. Here's the pitch. Down low and outside for ball 1. It makes it 1-0 here with 1 out. Base is empty. Jeremy Giesig looking to maybe start a little rally here. Get the Lefties a little bit more insurance. Here's the pitch. Grounded right back up the middle off the glove of Troy Shepard. The throw from the shortstop, Zach Wader, in time. Unbelievable play from the shortstop, Wader. It was lined hard up the middle off the glove of the pitcher, Troy Shepard, and it bounced just left of second base. Wader on a sprint got there, threw it over to first for the second out of the inning, and in steps Eric Valdivia. Base is empty, 2 outs. Valdivia so far tonight, 2 for 3, and came across the plate. Line high and out of play over to Race Street there. Towards the right side. 1 strike, no balls, 2 outs. And the pitch to Valdivia, lined hard towards the left side and over the head of the shortstop, Zach Wader, for Dom Dominguez, 3rd hit of the day. Some quality at-bats hit from him makes it 3 for 4 on his night. And he stands on first base for Jack Edmonds, the man who did it last time. No balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Edmonds stepping in, digging in with his custom bat that he received just before last weekend's series. Here's the pitch. Called, strike 1 on the inner half, makes it 0-1, 2 outs. Oh and 1, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fouled back off the protective gear of Max Shore behind the plate. Makes it 0-2 here with 2 outs to the Lefties' first baseman. He steps back off towards the left side, adjusts everything, adjusts his gear, and takes a practice swing as he steps into the box. In an 0-2 count. Troy Shepard kicks, fires, swing and a miss. Down goes Jack Edmonds via the strikeout. But I'm sure he can't be too upset with himself because, so far on the night, he does have a 3-run homer. But he walks back to the dugout slowly as we get ready for the top of the 8th inning, and Garrett Holpuck still out there on the mound for the Port Angeles Lefties going into his 8th inning of work. He is shoving tonight. We'll see him when we get back in the top of the 8th inning. Leading off here in the top of the 8th inning, Max Shore, the catcher for the Kelowna Falcons, as he watches strike one on the outer half. Slider finds the zone for strike one. Here we go. The 0-1 is hit high and deep out to left field. However, Jeremy Giesig gets there, stays in the yard. The torpedo bat for Max Shore can't quite catch all the barrel on that baseball. So that'll be the first out of the inning. And it turns over the Kelowna order to leadoff hitter Zach Wader. Made a great play at shortstop in the bottom of the 7th. Line drive up the middle, 90 mile an hour off the bat. Deflected off of the pitcher, Troy Shepard, and he knew what he had to do. Sprinted right over to the ball and made the grab. Threw it over to first as he grounds one over to Levi Joyce at second. Joyce throws on the run in time to get him. One pitch, one out to Zach Wader. And now in steps Colin Robson.
Now batting, number 50, Colin Robson.
2 outs, base is empty. Colin Robson, so far tonight, has put up 0 for 3 as he squares up to bunt, and the first pitch is way inside. He has to get out of the way of it, as well as pulling back his bunt for ball 1. So an 0-1 count with 2 outs. Well, that'd be 0-1 if the count was reversed. It's actually 1-0 as he swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt for strike 1. 1-1 count, 2 outs, base is empty. Garrett Holpuck just 1 out away from finishing 8 innings of work, and you got to imagine at this point, Lefties up 8-3. Is Tanner Knapp and Donald Bray going to let him back out there for an attempt at a complete game? As that pitch is down low in the dirt at 89 miles an hour. He's still nearing 90, and he topped out earlier this game at 91. So he's still hitting high numbers on the velocity gun as that pitch is inside, 3-1. However, if he does want to make it through a complete game, he has to get this quick out. Can't rack up that pitch count. 3-1 the pitch. Called strike 2 on the outer half. 3-2, 2 out now. Garrett Holpuck in a rhythm. Licks his hand aggressively, wipes it on his thigh. And gets ready to deliver the 0-2. Fly ball, center field. Tommy Markey going back on it. Nearing the wall and makes the catch. 8 innings so far on the night for Garrett Holpuck. We will see if he gets sent back out there for the 9th. But as of right now, even an incredible start for him for the night. We'll be right back in the bottom of the 8th inning after the break, where we will see a new pitcher. new bump for the Kelowna Falcons. Leading off this bottom of the 8th inning. His first pitch in there for a strike. Ian Bedsall. Spelled with an E. That's interesting. I can't say I've ever seen that before. His 0-1 is just up high for ball 1. Makes it 1-1. Bedsall's 1-1 is inside. For ball 2. That will actually go off. Of Garrett Patterson. Hit by pitch, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Danny Porras. He's putting on a show tonight. Danny Porras so far on the evening, 2 for 4. Came across the plate to score twice, and his 2 hits have been stand-up doubles. So we await the first pitch to Danny Porras now with a runner on first of a hit by pitch. He will ground one foul off towards the right side. 0-1. Ian Bedsall's from Yakima Valley. As Danny Porras checks his swing, goes around, and this pitch in the dirt. Swing and a miss, technically, for strike 2. Ian Bedsall, 17 1/3 innings pitched for Yakima Valley. 7 appearances. 1 of those he started. 2 wins, no losses. As that pitch is fouled back, and it will stay the same, 0-2. He allowed 15 runs, 9 of which were earned. So a lot of errors, maybe came in a couple of jams, so they weren't charged to him. And Porras will hit a weak ground ball over to first base. Braxton Thomas will bring it over to first. And while that is an out for Danny Porras, that'll bring up Tommy Markey after Garrett Patterson advances to second base. That pitch is up high. Ball 1 makes it 1-0. Garrett Patterson standing at second base. Tommy Markey at the plate here with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Lefties trying to add maybe just one more run on their 8 already today before they go out and try to close it out. Well, I would say close, but it's not quite a save situation to try to end off their great day. As Markey swings and misses at a pitch down low in the dirt, makes it 1-2. Patterson still leading off second, 1 out. The pitch to Patterson. Grounded, right side, foul, and we will do it again, 1-2. One and two, 1 out. Ian Bedsall trying to get out of his 1 inning pitched unscathed. Here it is, up high. Ball 2 evens up the count at 2-2. And we will see another 2-strike pitch. Line up the middle. Caught in center field. Squared up off the bat of Tommy Markey. 92 miles an hour off the bat. Just flew. He literally hit it too hard. Squared it up too well. Didn't quite get down in time. Hit it straight to the center fielder for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Taylor Kirk. That'll bring up Taylor Kirk, the Fordham University infielder, to Tommy Markey being the outfielder. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing. Did he go? Strike called. So, yes, he did. 0-1. Runner on second. 2 men out, and the catcher trying to fix maybe a pitch comm issue with the little wristband that has the electronic pitch comm system instead of the thing that goes on the knee. 0-1, 2 outs the pitch. Called strike 2 on the inner half of the plate. 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second base here in an 8-3 Lefties lead of a ball game. Here's the pitch, down low in the dirt. Patterson decides not to go. It's 1-2. He had to think about it a little bit before retreating out to second base. Took a couple of steps down the baseline over to third, decided to come back. And in a 1-2 count here with 2 outs, we will see Ian Bedsall's delivery. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Down goes Taylor Kirk. Lefty's going to go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Make that the top of the 9th inning. And we will see Garrett Holpuck for one last time going into the 9th inning. He's going to try to finish out a complete game for the Port Angeles Lefties. And this would be his second great start of the year. He also went 5 innings his first time out against, all the way back when he started against the Seattle Gumbaroos in a non-league matchup. He's trying to keep the Lefties' hot streak going. They won 4 of their last 6, 5 of their last 10. And we'll be right back. Leading off the top of the 9th inning for the Kelowna Falcons, it's going to be Kyle Slater, who skies one out into center field. Tommy Markey ranging back, and there's the first out of the 9th inning. Garrett Holpuck 2 outs away from a complete game win. So that'll bring up Braxton Thomas, the left-handed first baseman for the Kelowna Falcons. They are really trying to get something going here, down 5 in the 9th. First pitch called, strike 1 on the outer half, makes it 0-1. Holpuck, 2 outs away from a complete game win. Swing and a miss. And so far tonight, Garrett Holpuck, 8 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, all in the 3rd inning, 6 strikeouts, and only faced 3 above the minimum. Of course, at least 2 more guaranteed, counting this one, and then who would be the third out as that pitch is down low in the dirt. But a complete game with 32 batters faced is nothing too shabby. It's nothing to glance at. You want to take a long look at that stat line. Grounds it. Levi Joyce at second base. Lays out, can't make the grab. So a one-out single from Braxton Thomas keeps Kelowna's hopes alive for a little bit. In steps Uriah Walters. First pitch to him. Called. Strike one on the outer half. Slider from Garrett Holpuck has been working all night. You notice after Tanner Knapp came and talked to him all the way back with 2 outs in the third inning, after he gave up those 3 runs, he really stopped using his fastball as much. He's relied heavily on his splitter and his sliders. That's grounded. Over to Taylor Kirk. 6, 4, 3, double play. Lefties win. 8-3. And a complete game performance from Garrett Holpuck leads to him getting the win. 9 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 32 batters faced. Only 5 batters above the minimum. Kelowna Falcons went through 3 pitchers. Asher Clark went 3 1/3, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, ended up giving the loss. Troy Shepard, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. And Ian Bedsall came out there to pitch the bottom of the 8th. And, you know, if I had to give a Player of the Game award, it'd be really tough to decide between Garrett Holpuck and Jack Edmonds, who hit a 3-run bomb to put the Lefties in front, and they never lost that lead. Rode it all the way, adding runs along the second half of the ballgame through the 9th for the win. Taking it 8-3 in Game 1 of this series versus Kelowna at home. The second time they faced them at home so far this year. First time through, they faced them in 2 extra inning losses, heartbreak in the 10th, and a 14-0 win in the middle of those games. The Lefties continue their hot streak. They've won 5 games of their last 7, and they're looking to continue it tomorrow. So with that, I'm Mason McLean, and with the Lefties press box, we say good night. We'll see you tomorrow here at Civic Field, 6:35.